to beautiful Dungarvan here in Waterford for this Lidl Division 1B Round 1 game in the National League starting off 2022. Meath and Cork started off yesterday, of course, and a few games last night, but lots of games today. And here today we have the league holders, the champions, Dublin, and they are putting their title on the line against Waterford, managed by Pat Sullivan. He's back in charge here. And there's already been one game today, actually, and in League Division 4B, Limerick have beaten London 2-9 to 9 points. So that's the early game, this one at 2 o'clock. The teams, we'll go through them now. I'll go through the Waterford team first, and it's Emer Gallagher in goals from Tramore. Then at number 2 we have Megan Dunford from Abbeyside, just out the road from here. 3 is Kiva McGrath from Abbeyside, although she's actually been playing for St Jude's. So the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that she scored a goal last week in the All-Ireland Club Intermediate Final that Jude's won. So an All-Ireland winner last week, Kiva McGrath, for St Jude's in Dublin, and today she's playing for her county at fullback. That's Kiva McGrath, number 3. 4, Rebecca Casey. 5, Aisling Mullaney. 6, Karen McGrath, and she is the captain from Ballymac, of course. And Laura Cusick is at 7. At midfield we have Emma Murray and Laura Mulcahy, and at 10 we have Breed McMaw, again from Ballymac, and Hannah Power from St Pat's, and her sister Eve is in the subs at number 29. 12 is Maria Wall. 13, Katie Murray, another of the triplets. 14, Chloe Fennell, and 15 is Kate McGrath, not to be confused with Karen McGrath. And she got a goal against the Dubs in the game last year when they played. And no Aileen Wall, no Emer Fennell. In the subs, you have another of the Murray triplets, the third one, that's Aoife Murray at 25. And there's another of the sisters, and she was the next one that came along, so she's younger than the triplets, Cora Murray, and she's wearing number 22, and she's doing well at UL at the minute. So 4 Murray sisters involved today for Waterford, 2 starting the game, and there may be more. We'll watch out when the game starts to see if there's any late changes, but as we know it, there's 2 Murray starting the game. Right, on to Dublin. In goals they have Abby Shields, and she likes the league. Last year she won a Team of the League award, actually, as the best goalkeeper in the league, so she is in goals. 2 is Jess Tobin from Coola, and quite a few Coola players here for Dublin today. Jennifer Dunn is another, and Martha Byrne the captain, and there'll be a few in the subs as well. Gráinne O'Driscoll at 26 and Rachel Hartnett at 24. But going back to the full back line, 2 Jess Tobin, 3 Leah Caffrey, 4 Hannah Leahy, 5 Orlin Nolan, 6 Martha Byrne, 7 Aoife Kane, and at midfield it's Jennifer Dunn and Kate McDade. At 10 it's another Kate Sullivan, Sylvester's of course, and this time last Sunday she scored a goal within 10 seconds wearing number 10. 11 Nicole Owens, 12 Kiva O'Connor, 13 Una White, 14 is Hannah Tyrrell, and 15 is Jodie Egan. Good crowd in the stand here. I'm looking along to my left and right. Good home crowd for this game, and they are hoping that Waterford cause an upset here today, and it would be an upset because over the last number of years when Waterford have come up to Division 1 and indeed to Senior Championship, they have lost every time they have run into Dublin, mainly in Mick Bohan's reign, or maybe totally actually, and even going back to Pat Sullivan's previous reign, it's always been Dublin who have prevailed. We'll go through some of those scores later, but suffice to tell you that last year in 2 games that they played in League and Championship, Dublin scored 6 goals in each game. So 1 in the Championship, 1 in the League. In the League they won 6-15 to 2-12. That was Hannah Tyrrell's return. And in the Championship they won by 6-21 to 110. So that does not augur well for Waterford, but then again, Pat Sullivan is back and they have a new momentum in there and some new players in there, and this is a much changed Dublin team, it has to be said as well. I mean, I mentioned the team there, but there's no Carla Rowe, no Goldrick, no Ahern, no McAvoy, no Lauren McGee, no Siobhan McGrath, and so on. The subs for Dublin, by the way, they have 12 subs there, and they've added to it with 2 new subs added to the list that we've been given. So Amy O'Brien from Garrettstown is wearing 28, and Tammy Quinn Corbally is from Thomas Davis. She'll be wearing 29. So 2 additions to the Dublin subs, and they have the likes of Lindsay Davey in there and Niamh Collins. So plenty of experience, and Siobhan Woods, and who else have they got there? Well, they've Niamh Heatherton and Siobhan Killeen as well. So much talent there on the bench, but certainly a little bit transitional it feels today for Dublin, with a lot of those established names not here. And the ball is thrown in by the referee Jonathan Murphy from Carlow, and it's Dunn who gets it from the break. Such a powerful runner with the ball. She slips it to Kate McDade. Kate, one of the new names for Dublin this year. She is from Kilmacud Crokes, and this is Una White. And the game settling down a little bit now, and the younger ball girls are, no, actually I think they're maybe half-time players from Waterford are down below us. I can hear them quite loud actually on my microphone here. I think there must be a microphone down beside them at the front of the stand, and they're quite a distance away from me, but I can hear them quite loudly. But they are certainly up for this game and keen and interested. That's the important thing. Keeping an eye on the game, don't worry. I am talking about that, and I am looking at the mountains in the distance, and I'm seeing rain. I think it's certainly very gloomy over there. It's dry here at the minute. I know there was a lot of rain last night, but dry here at the minute, and conditions pretty good for football, I would imagine. Not too much wind either, maybe a little bit, but nothing too significant. And Emer Gallagher there from Tramore, the goalkeeper for Waterford, coming out and dealing with that situation quite nicely. So the home team here, and of course this is Emma Murray from Comeragh Rangers, speeding off as she has done down the years, and she is brought down there by Kiva O'Connor, and the referee taking that challenge. And the Murray triplets at it there, 13 and 8. Katie Murray giving it to Emma Murray. We've become used to the Murray runs from deep at speed over the last number of years since they came in. I think it's 16-year-olds in the previous Pat Sullivan reign when he won the All-Ireland in 2015. The triplets played then, and they were only 16 years old, winning an All-Ireland in Croke Park, and here we are now in 2022, and they're still involved and still thriving and still very important to the team. Number 5 is Aisling Milani as Waterford try to get through for a score, and she gets away, Milani, and it looked like a bit of a tug, but the referee said she'd overcarried before that. This is Abby Shields from Lucan Sarsfields with the free. The goalkeeper coming out to help her defence there, giving it to Dunn, and there's some green in front of her, and she usually charges into it, but this time just leaves it up. In fact, that wasn't Dunn, of course, that was McDade. She gave it to Dunn, and then Dunn does dart off, as we expect. I was wondering why she hadn't done that. She always does. And this is the full forward hand at Terrell, and this could be the first score of the game, and indeed it is, and really well worked all the way from the goalkeeper all the way up the field, involving Dunn, involving McDade, and Terrell playing a full forward come out and scored that. And she was named on the team of the league last year, as well as winning an All-Star, so what a brilliant return for her to Gaelic Games, the Irish Rugby International. That's certainly an impact. She won both individual awards for both competitions. You can't ask for more than that, and she's got the first score today, so Dublin 1 point up. And a free given in there after that pass had been made, and it was just as well because the pass was wayward. And that's taken by Chloe Fennell. She's the number 14. And they have one player in around the full forward area, but it's not the 14 who's in there, and she's not going to see ball now anyway because Dublin have got it, and that's up towards Terrell. Terrell played as a half forward last year, and she seems to be a little bit closer to goal now, or maybe I'm just too early to read into that. And that kick is easily collected by Jess Tobin from Kula. I am concentrating on the game, but I thought I saw a rainbow there as well in the distance. Keeping an eye on both. Now this is Mairead Wall, number 7, sweeping up for Waterford. She's got help from Laura Mulcahy. She gives it out to Murray, and Waterford will build. Give the ball away a minute ago with a kick into the forwards, and they just can't afford to do that against Dublin. You've got to be more accurate. This is Karen McGrath, the captain now. And she wisely uses her experience and keeps possession. That is important. And this is McMaw. And she finds herself under serious pressure there. 2 Dublin players after her, and it's the Sylvester's girls. It's Owens and Sullivan, but they can't get her, and she gets the ball away. And that's good work by Hannah Power, number 11, and now it's Chloe Fennell. The light blue jerseys, the sky blue jerseys have got back there in numbers. There's a blue wall created there. And Waterford forced to come back out. And Kiva McGrath wearing number 3. And after helping a Dublin club winning an All-Ireland last week, last Saturday actually, 8 days ago, she's now playing against the Dublin county. And although she's named at number 3, she's not obviously playing a traditional fullback. And why not? Because she scored a goal last week. Now that kick is going to drop short, and it's easily taken by Abby Shields. And again, that's the sort of thing Waterford can't afford to do against Dublin. You've got to be patient, and you've got to win the ball back, and that's what they're doing now. And that's good work by Fennell to get it back, and she feeds it back out, and that's good work by her to McGrath, to Murray. And this is Mairead Wall coming from deep. This is Murray. Press coming in, but an illegal press, says the referee Jonathan Murphy. They come all the way back to midfield where Laura Mulcahy is on her own, but then she drives forward, meets the wall, and tries to put it into the corner, but it's actually going to be picked up by Hannah Leahy from the Scully Connell club in inner city Dublin. And that was a little bit easy again, and Dublin having it too easy. I think that's the way it's been for the last few minutes. Waterford making it easy for them. They've given 2 away and dropped 1 into the goalkeeper's arms after all their hard work, and that's why they are scoreless. And that gets to you after a while when you put in all the hard work but don't actually make progress on the scoreboard. The end product is obviously the important bit. Down at the other end now, that's picked up by Laura Cusick, I think number 7 all the way back there, and she gets a free on her own end line. This is Cusick now, right onto the scoreboard. They will start again, Waterford, start to build from the back. Moving it through the hands to Mairead Wall. Nicole Owens tries to stop her coming out, and the pressure then exerted by Jodie Egan at 15. But this is McMaw now, and there's Dunn, and she'll collect that one. And again, it's Dublin just having the edge and winning those vital exchanges. And the Sylvester's girls combine now, because that is Sullivan to Nicole Owens. She looks inside and gives it back. This is good movement, and Dunn is through, and she lashes it to the net for a goal in familiar style. Brilliant goal for Dublin early on. It's been coming, and it's been finished by the girl from Kula. Really well worked by Nicole Owens, and Jess Tobin from Kula gave it to her club teammate Jennifer Dunn, and she did the rest. (1-1-2) a point for the Dubs early on, and after Waterford being wasteful at the other end, Dublin showed them how to do it. This is Tyrrell coming out from full forward and winning a few balls like that. That's what she did for the first free, so she's gone back into that target area there at full forward, and that seems to be a new role for her, and it's working well. That's Orlin Nolan, number 5. This is Owens again, and Owens on her left foot plays a lovely ball into Tyrrell, who collects it beautifully on that left foot, but it's well blocked down that time, and that was great work by Megan Dunford. And Waterford get it, and there's a foul there by Tobin, and the referee will tick her. So that's a couple of ticks for Dublin players that the referee has taken in the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game. Actually looking at the scoreboard in the distance, and it says we've just passed 9 minutes. Waterford yet to score. And there's a good ball, but it's well read by Nolan. She gets in there and breaks that. Good defending. Her boots come off, actually, in the process of doing that. Now, Kate Sullivan, last week she scored a goal after 10 seconds. The number 10 has been chased by the other number 10. Goes on her right foot and goes for it. That's dangerous, but the goalkeeper watches it all the way. Good work by Gallagher. And I think the rain may be coming in, or it's more of a drizzle, I think, but still it's getting a little bit blustery, and you can see maybe the tricolour up by the scoreboard, and it's going from left to right. So the wind picking up a little bit in favour of Dublin. Waterford finding this hard going. They are doing well getting up the pitch, and a lot of good football, but no scores, and they have been too wasteful, and now they have to be careful at this end. It's hard to get a little bit of space, and this is good work though by the full forward Chloe Fennell, as she has been pursued by the Dublin captain today, Martha Byrne. And that's really strong midfield play there to win that back for Dublin by Kate McDade, and she makes a really good partnership there with Jennifer Dunn in the middle of the field. Also a good strong runner, McDade, but she brings it back to Sullivan, to Owens. And I'm delighted to say now that all those kids in front of us have now been brought up right in front of me. So you're probably going to hear them throughout the game. I think it's because of the rain, actually, that's coming in now. They've all come up. I'm surrounded now. It's like play school. It's like a playground up here in the stand in Dungarvan, in Fraher Field. So I've got plenty of good company, plenty of enthusiasm, and you can probably hear they're really enjoying being here. And they're going to go out at half time, and they're watching their heroes here, and they're getting a chance to see the Dubs. But they've got their own heroes like Emma Murray. Just as I say that, she is penalised. And Jonathan Murphy, the referee, is actually going to hold up the play here for a Waterford player getting possibly a bit of treatment. Although I think he says she's okay, and it's the full forward Fennell. It's Orlin Nolan with the free, and this is Tobin. And back to Nolan from Ballantyre St John's, 2021 All-Star, of course. This is Tobin again. She slotted right into this Dublin machine. Leah Caffrey, the fullback, number 3, you see there, involved, and she's looking for it again. And she, of course, also won an All-Star last year. And there's 3 TG Ceathair All-Stars out there. Hannah Tyrrell got one as well in 2021. There are more from other years, but those were the 3 Dubs who won last year. Now this is a good burst by Kate McDade, and she leaves it off to Nicole Owens, and she turns one way and then the other. She really is on form and keeping her good form going after the All-Ireland club win. She's so versatile and so hard to stop because she's got so many ways of getting the ball in there, left foot, right foot. She's so adaptable and so skillful that way. Played a lovely ball into Hannah Tyrrell. Now there's a Waterford player down over on that far side. I can't quite see who it is, but Waterford are certainly down at the minute. 12.5 minutes gone on 1-1 to no score. I did say I think it would be tough going for them today. They are playing into the wind, and they have conceded 1-1. Not disastrous by any means, but I did look up their previous scores against Dublin in recent years, and it doesn't make pretty reading. In the league last year, they lost 6-15 to 2-2. Hannah Tyrrell scored 1-5 that day, and she's already got a point today. In the league the previous year, here in Dungarvan, Waterford actually led Dublin by 7 points. But in the end, they succumbed and lost 4-5 to 13 points. I think I was at that game. And in the championship, we'll go back to 2017. Nicole Owens was player of the match, and Ada Heron got 1-9, Dublin 1 easy. 2019, Dublin 5-15, Waterford 2-6. Lindsay Davies scored 2-3. She's on the bench today. And in 2020, it was Dublin 17 points, Waterford 110. A lot closer. Roisin Tobin got a goal that day, and she got a goal on another day against Dublin. She's on the bench today as well for Waterford. And then in 2021 last year, in the championship, Dublin 6-21, Waterford 110. So that's where that figure came from, of the 12 goals. Last year they met in league and championship. 6-15 one day for Dublin, 6:21 the other. Only 1-1 so far though, which doesn't suggest a score as high as that, but it is February, it is early, whereas last year the league was much later in the year for obvious reasons. So the league got underway yesterday with Meath against Cork in beautiful sunshine in Navan. It's a lot more dull here in Waterford at the minute. Next week, by the way, Dublin will play Cork in Croke Park. That's a mouth-watering one, and Waterford will play at home to Meath. I also mentioned the Murray sisters earlier on. Should mention their dad as well, because there's 4 sisters. There's Emma Murray at 8, Katie at 13, and Aoife at 25. That's the triplets. And then a younger sister, Cora, coming along. She plays for UL. So 4 sisters, but don't forget their dad. He was on the gate when we got here today, so he's looking after that, and he's involved just as much, and he must be a proud man with the 4 sisters involved here today. 2 of them starting and 2 may well come on. Quite a long hold up, but I think we're about to get back in the play, and I think the injury was to Laura Mulcahy, the number 9 for Waterford, but she seems okay to continue. Looks slightly groggy, but I'm sure she's got the all clear. And there's another wasteful kick, just giving it away quite easily to Martha Byrne, and she says thanks very much. So Waterford inviting the pressure and not holding on to possession in the key moments. This is Tobin again, and referee penalises her for touching the ball or moving the ball on the ground with her hand, I presume that was. This is one of the aforementioned Murrays, and another one of them. That was Katie to Emma. This is Mairead Wall, one of the Ballymacarbery connection. The Murrays are not, they're Cumara Rangers. This is Kiva McGrath from Abbeyside, which you can probably just see from looking over to the right hand side of the camera. It goes over there later behind the goals, so not too far away from here. She's from Abbeyside, as is Megan Dunford. But the attack breaks down again. Owens all the way back there, and that's beautifully taken. Was that O'Connor who did that possibly over there? And then she gets taken to the ground, but it was certainly a really nice take. It slowed her up a little bit, but there's no slowing Jennifer Dunn. She's off and running, and Kate Sullivan talking about running and talking about speed. She is always a speedster. Let's come back though to McDaid, and it was actually O'Connor who stopped in her tracks, but she's getting up to the 45 and crossing it now for Dublin, and this is Jodie Egan, the only Foxrock Cabinteely player out there. Number 15, Jodie. This is 5, Orlin Nolan. And the conditions affecting the game now, as you can see, that's Leah Caffrey, full back, but all the way up there in the full forward area. And this comes back to Nolan. And there's room here now for Jodie Egan, but she soon finds a lot of white jerseys around, and there's a goal chance, and it's gone over the bar. Could have gone under, but it's another point for Dublin. 1-2 to a point. I think it was a full back. It was Leah Caffrey, 2021 All-Star from the Fianna, up there getting the score. The fullback doing the job of the full forward. 17.5 minutes gone, and the Dubs 5 up, and Waterford yet to score. But they are playing into the wind, and the conditions have worsened, but they're not helping themselves with kickouts like that, going straight to Aoife Kane, and they're just gifting possession back to the league champions. Sullivan now looks for Owens, and she bravely goes in there and intercepts that ball just before Tyrrell got there. This is Tyrrell now. She'll want to go onto her right foot or leave it off. She does that. Players over here. This is Tobin. Comes back out to Nolan. Nolan tries to make a bit of room and actually has a go on her left foot and puts it over the bar. And the All-Star from just a few months ago gets the 3rd point of the game for Dublin. 1-3 to a point just before the water break. An excellent finish by her. I have to say, she looked almost reluctant to kick it on her left, but then had a go at it and swung it over. And she's getting a little bit of congratulations now as she comes off. And if you're wondering, why is there a water break? Well, it was ended for the men's game and for hurling by the official GAA, but Camogie kept it on until the 1st of February. And the ladies football ruling was that they were persisting with it until the 1st of April. basically if competitions were underway or about to start, they were going to persist with it, and that kind of makes sense. So if you were using one rule, you had to keep it. Mick Bowen down to my left with the Dublin players, taking advantage of the water break to give a few instructions, and he's certainly being quite indignant about where he wants the ball, and he's telling people, maybe he's telling them to give it in quicker or where to give it in, because they've been a little bit laboured in their build up, and maybe it worked in the first few minutes for Hannah Terrell to get a score, and maybe he's saying hit it in a little bit quicker. So that's maybe the direction in there. That's what he's asking for. He must be quite pleased with the first 15 minutes, but of course he's always going to ask more. Whereas Waterford, Pat Sullivan down to my right, taking the chance to have a word. He managed the county before and famously took them to the TG Cahir All-Ireland Intermediate title in 2015. A charismatic character, an infectious character. I think we put those sort of labels on him in the business. He's good fun and he's a good manager, and he brings passion to it, and he knows all these girls, and he won that All-Ireland and brilliant style in 2015, and he's back to try and make an impact again, although this time of course they are senior. So the rain has come in, making it a little bit tricky here for the players, but you kind of expect that in February, so nothing too untoward. And as I say again, the breeze, I can see the tricolour in the far distance going from left to right, favouring Dublin. So the league champions have started their defence in the first quarter here with 1-3, and in fact the wind is picking up quite a lot. I can see sheets of rain going across the pitch, so really difficult for Waterford to get up the pitch. They're trying to do that now though, in the form of their captain Karen McGrath. So the home team finding this difficult up against the blue machine and the wind and the rain, but here they come, trying to find a way to break through, and it's so difficult to do, but they are being patient. This is Emma Murray. She's support there from Kiva McGrath. All right, they'll try the wings, try and get it out to this side. This is McMaw, and she tries to burst through, gets past her opposing number 10 and slips it in here to Kate McGrath. She's left near the goal area. She's the one who's been left in there, and she tries to get their first score of the game, but it goes to the right and wide. And I've been watching off camera quite a lot, and Kate is the one player who's been staying inside. She's been starved of possession. She finally got it there, but she had lots of attention. She got her kick away, but it goes wide, and they remain scoreless. She was followed by Hannah Leahy in there, and it's the Dubs who break through the first line of the Waterford defence, if you like. And this is Nolan, buoyed by her point just before the water break, and this is Sullivan to Owens, and now will they do what Mick asked them to do? They will. They'll pop a lovely ball in there towards Hannah Terrell, but it just bobbled away from her. A bad bounce there on the ground, to be fair to Hannah, and it didn't work, but I think that's what the manager was probably looking for. You might see on the camera there the rain is coming quite strongly across. I'd say maybe from, if you imagine, left corner back to right corner forward, but basically in the faces of the Waterford players as they try their level best to get up the field. They've almost got to halfway, and they're trying to work it through the hands. That's the clever thing to do. This is Megan Dunford. She gives it into Karen McGrath, who's up there now, the captain, and at this stage they're a bit knackered, I'd say, for getting up there, but they need to be careful as well and not give it away. That's what they've done a few times. This is Hannah Parr now. And the Dubs, of course, been very disciplined in their tackling. This is Parr again. It's done putting on the pressure on Wall. And Waterford's trying to find a way through, but the two midfielders create a sandwich there, but Emma Murray still finds a way through. That's good work from her. And this is Fennell now. And this is better. This is Kiva McGrath. Surely she couldn't get through for another goal this week. She got a goal for St Jude's, a Dublin club, last week, but she's trying to get a goal against the Dublin county team this week. And there's a free in, and that was good persistence and much better from Waterford, and this should be their first score of the game, and that will be a relief to them. Haven't got it yet, mind you, but Kate McGrath is there. And the referee ticking again. He didn't like that challenge. But Waterford's approach much better. Now, she's a fair distance out, and as I said, that wind is quite strong, so this is not to be taken for granted. 22nd minute. Kate from Killer Santi Brickies scored a goal against the Dubs last year. Now she could just do the free, and she's kicked it well to the right. I did say there was a strong wind and it can't be taken for granted, but that was quite a bit to the right. And the Dacia remain on 0. Not that the manager will be too upset about that. He might be thinking, you know what, if we can keep this down in the second half, we get this strong wind behind us, we could maybe cause trouble. They've won it from the kick out. That's Katie Murray doing really well. She leaves it off to McGrath. Now, she gave her a lot to do, but McGrath did that work and did it well and brings it out to the captain. Kate McGrath and Karen McGrath, the 2K McGraths there, and this is Milani now number 5, and this is Kiva McGrath. Lots of McGraths involved, and Murray's. This is Milani. And this is much better patient work. I imagine that was the message from Pat Sullivan. Move it around and make sure. Now, Kiva McGrath's trying to get in behind her, but she's been followed by Martha Byrne, but it's not going to get that far because Leah Caffrey turned that over and got a free as well. And Fennell apologises for the challenge that has clearly hurt the girl from Nafena. So 23 minutes gone now. And although it's 1-3 to no score for the Dubs, it's by no means over. Elsewhere, by the way, very interesting score up north. We're right down in the south here in Dungarvan. But Armagh against Tyrone, it's 4-2 to 4 points for Armagh. Blahin Mackin with a fabulous goal, putting Armagh what looks like out of sight there. Monaghan are leading Cavan 5 points to 1. So lots of football on today. Kerry leading Tipperary, but only by 2-1. Here's the battle of the number 10s down below us, and Kate Sullivan wins it, but she's got company now from 13. That is Murray. Referee is allowing advantage, but now gives the free. Owens always seems to manage, always seems to be able to pick it up in some sort of unorthodox way. Good blocking. And that battle of the 10s is very interesting. Breed McMaw from Ballymac there against Kate Sullivan. They're having their own private battle in there, and it is an interesting one. This is Byrne, the Dublin captain today. Leaves it off to Dunn. Both Kula girls. And there you see why you shouldn't bounce it in conditions like this at this time of the year, and a pitch like this. It's not going to come back up. Kate McDade, good patient play from her, and Byrne spots that Nolan is in a bit of space, so Dublin crossed the 45, and Dunn is there, and she fancies that shot and drops it in, and it goes easily into the arms of Gallagher. He gives it out to Murray, and the press in there immediately. I think that was O'Connor. So the forwards working hard for Dublin to stop Waterford getting up the pitch. Weather's cleared a little bit now. And as I said, Waterford certainly aren't out of sight. They haven't conceded anything like the big numbers they conceded last year. Only 1-3. So they're still well in this game if they can get a break and get it to the second half when they'll have the wind on their backs. But Dublin, it has to be said, look, the more composed team, and they do have more answers and they do have more options up front. This is Fennell, the full forward, out around the middle of the field for Waterford. They've settled certainly since the water break a little bit, and that was probably the words of Pat Sullivan, the advice that he gave them about how to play this. But they're having to work extremely hard. I can see off camera, you might see it in the bottom of the camera here, 13 and 10. Rushing to get back, but they're just up and down the field. Now that's a good turnover for Waterford, but the problem is when you bring the girls back, you've nobody up then when you do turn it over. But they're coming now, they're supporting now, and this is Milani from Stradbally. Leaves it off to Murray, but this is the wall that they hit all of the time. Look at the amount of blue jerseys there, and it's trying to get through that. You'd either do it all yourself or you hit the long ball, and neither have been working. But that's good work by Kate McGrath battling in there, but she's outnumbered and she is going to get her free. But they're having to battle extremely hard, Waterford. They do, actually it's a hop ball, they haven't got the decision, but they do at least have a hop. 26.5 minutes gone. Are Waterford going to go the entire half without a score? Looks like it at the minute. Kiva McGrath in there. she's wearing 3, but very much playing out around the middle. She goes up for this and holds her ground and does well there and battling for the ball. That's good work by Kiva McGrath, and they try to get a boot to it as well, but it's still Dublin who persist and who win it. And this is Jodie Egan now, and she slips it forward, and this is Aoife Keane from Kilmacud Crokes, and she tries to get it in to Sullivan. She does well and gets a hand to get it away from 3 Waterford players, but the referee says that that is an illegal hand. And I did mention the Battle of the Thames, but now they're not marking each other. They've broken that up. Maybe it's Kate Sullivan has moved up into the full forward area a little bit, and they brought Jodie Egan out, or so it seems at the minute. This is Dunford, another of the Abbeyside players from just across the way here. Another free, and it's a bit of hard toil for Waterford in this first half. 28 minutes gone now. Tough going against a well-organised league champions outfit. And you see there the disciplined tackle. It's so hard to get through, but they have broken through 3 or 4. And that's good work. And this is McGrath, who's come out the field a little bit, and she's switched to leave Fennell in the full forward area. And there's a push that the referee has penalised. So another free. Getting lots of frees around this area, but it's really not much use to if you can't get in behind. And they've only done that once or twice, Waterford. Murray in a battle of the number 8s there with Dunn, twisting and turning, and leaves it off nicely to Mulcahy, who has recovered from the knock she had. Back to Murray, and she shows good vision by getting it out to McMahon. And there goes the kick. Oh, and the crowd are delighted that Waterford have got that, because it means they're not going to go the entire half without a score. They just managed that in the 29th minute, and they do deserve that. That's reward for Waterford. 1-3 to a point, and 5 points in it, and Waterford will feel an awful lot better about that. The gloom and the rain has lifted, and the wind. Dublin persists to win. Kate Sullivan, who's moved into the full forward area, did brilliantly there and left it off to Egan, and she goes for her shot now, but was off balance, and it goes to the right and it goes wide. So the Dubs have not exactly been all dominant, you couldn't say that, and they've actually only scored 4 times. But they have certainly done enough, and they may score again now, because Hannah Tyrrell has read that kick out and picked it up far too easily and leaves it off, and there's surely going to be another score here, and it's gone to the net. It was all about Tyrrell. Her perception was absolutely excellent, left it off, and Kiva O'Connor rushing off the shoulder, and she buried it in the left corner, and that's her 5th score of the game. But 2 of them have been goals, and Dublin just on half time have made it 2-3 to a point, and that probably reflects the first half a little bit better, and it puts Dublin a good 8 points clear, just as Waterford were coming back into it. This is Mulcahy to Milani. Waterford have done so well, but that will have rocked them a little bit back in their heels. There's room here though for McMaw, which is unusual, to find a pocket of space there, but she does, and this is good work. This is McGrath. They're doing well, Waterford, now in terms of trying to break through. This is Fennell, I think, giving it out to McMaw, and Fennell will get it again. And this is McGrath. A little bit of room for her. I thought she was going to go for a kick, but she slips it through instead, and they might even get through here. I thought for a moment there McGrath was going to get through and get sight of goal, but she didn't. Instead, Milani gets it and puts it extremely high, and it's not even gone out. And the goalkeeper Shields come out, but doesn't get there. She gets there now, though. She had a little bit of help there that she needed, and now there's a brilliant kick out by the goalkeeper. Actually, no, the wind has carried it a little bit too far. Over Owens, and Mulcahy has it. We're in the 32nd minute. We did have quite a few hold-ups, one particularly lengthy one. That's a good ball from Wall, out to Parr. She's got Milani inside if she needs her. Comes out instead to Emma Murray, and now Wall. McGrath. one of three McGraths out there for Waterford. She's showing some lively footwork, comes back inside, takes the challenge. But they're waiting for somebody to get in behind, but Dublin just sitting in there. There's about 10 of them in there and making it very hard. Murray tries to go through and is going for overcarrying. So the Dublin defensive structure prevails. But like Meath yesterday, they just sit in there in numbers. They don't dart out the tackle. They don't necessarily mark players. They mark space and they pounce when the time is right. There's a nice sight down to my left off camera actually, and it's all the girls at half-time, and they're all ready to come on, and they're jumping up and down and doing windmills as well, trying to keep warm. Their coaches are out there trying to keep them warm. Before we've got to the end of this half, they'll be coming on in a minute. And there's a foot tackle coming in, which the referee says is fine. Was there. Kiva O'Connor got her boot to it. But here comes Murray. Murray is in a hurry for Waterford to try and get a score at the end of the half, but she's just outnumbered there. Milani will persist now, but the sky blue wall is very well built in there, and it's so hard for Waterford. They've only scored 1 point in the half, and we're now in the 34th minute. Fennell drops the shoulder, comes inside, but the tackle comes in from O'Connor. She's left half forward and she's all the way back there. So apart from the goalkeeper, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Meath players inside their own 45. They're all working furiously to try and stop Waterford coming through. And Waterford have to be very inventive and very sharp to try and get through. But the tackles there, as I said, they are made when the time is right and they dart in. And that has been the story of the first half. Dublin have prevailed and they have kept Waterford at bay. It's 2-3 to a point. A goal pretty much early on. There was a point for Hannah Terrell, and then a brilliant goal from Jennifer Dunn just after that, and then a goal just before half time after Waterford had got their first score in the entire half, and that was from Kiva O'Connor, made by Hannah Terrell, and that makes it 8 points in it at half time. But not all over for the Dacia, because there was a strong wind, and they will have that wind especially if it picks up in the second half. The little girls are out to play at half time, and the seniors are going to the dressing rooms, and we will take a break there, and we will be back right at the start of the second half. Dungarvan for the second half. 2 Dublin changes at half-time from their manager Mick Bowen, who's just making his way across the field now. In fact, he's just gone off the field because the play has resumed, and it's Waterford on the attack right away, and it's Hannah Power, their number 11, getting into the captain, the centre half back. And now there's a chance, and is that going over? No, it's just drifting to the right and wide, but a good early start, a signal of intent from Waterford. Maria Wall, I think it was, or was it Fennell who put it wide? Went wide anyway. It looked like it might drift in, but they didn't judge it. But hold on, there might be a chance now because they've got that straight from the kick out, and it's Murray who's bursting through, and she is fouled before she got a chance to have a go at goal. And a free in, which you would imagine will certainly be a point for them, as a golden opportunity with the win in the first half. They'd won from pretty much the same angle and distance in the first half, but it was against a strong wind. Now you can maybe see the flag in the area behind there, just above the scoreboard and to the left of it, and it's blowing quite violently now from left to right, so this should be just a matter of tapping it. But if she put it wide, oh, she's missed it again. She's missed it again. And that's gone to the right, just like the one in the first half. And there's me saying it was just a matter of tapping it over. But again, maybe it was the wind carrying it, because she put it very high, and maybe that's where the wind caught it up there and just pulled it to the right. But a golden opportunity there for Waterford to get a score, but they didn't get it right at the start of the second half. They only had 1 point in the first half. Could have really done with one there. But a lively start from them, and the ball dropped there, which gives it as a gift to Murray. And now this is Karen McGrath, the captain, again driving her team forward and drawing a foul as well from McDade. So a much livelier performance so far from the Daisha girls. This is the number 9, Mulcahy, and oh, Murray has burst through, and she's got a little bit of room, gives it to her sister. The Murrays in a hurry at the start of the second half, and they combine to score an excellent point, and they are playing much better in the second half than they did in the entire first half. 2-3-2. Now with this wind, are they going to up the tempo and pin Dublin in? Can Dublin come out with it? Nolan gets it from the goalkeeper, gives it back to Shields, who's got her hat on now. You see the sun is also in the eyes of the goalkeeper at that end, but this is good play from Dublin to get out. McDade linking up well, and they've moved it through the hands, and that's good effective work. And now they look for Tyrrell, the ball in towards Tyrrell, and she holds off her marker. That was Megan Dunford, but the ball spills, and McMaw is back there for Waterford. Slips it to Cusick. Now what's she going to do? She's been pursued by O'Connor, and Shirley been fouled by O'Connor as well. Dunford now free from having to mark Hannah Tyrrell, comes forward. And Waterford just seemed to have much more intent about them in the second half, and doing things all a little bit faster and trying to bring more urgency into their play. But Leah Caffrey has it for Dublin. Good tackling from Murray, trying to turn that over, but Caffrey holds on, as does Martha Byrne, slipping it away, but tackle goes in there, and Dublin I think might have been calling for a free. No, they're not, actually, to be fair to them, and it's going on now. And Karen McGrath, the captain, has been doing her level best to get forward as much as possible in the first few minutes of the second half. Leadership play by the captain. Gets it again. This is Power to McMaw. Waterford have already doubled their tally from the first half within a few minutes in the second half, and they could easily have had at least one more score. And now they're patiently making an opening, and McMaw, as they say that, puts it high into the sky, into the wind, into the sun, and it drops, and they do win it in there. Now there's 4 or 5 blue shirts in there, but here comes Kiva McGrath. Oh, so unlucky. She got a toe to it. I thought she was going to do exactly what she did for Jude's last week, but not on this occasion. But Waterford certainly applying serious pressure at the start of the second half. McDaid plays that one inside there, looking for the substitute who's come in. That's Siobhan Killeen from Clontarf. I will give you those changes in a minute. I did mention them, but there's hardly been time to draw breath. And there's a free, and that's conceded by Killeen, and she gets ticked for that. And Murray says, let's get on with it. So Siobhan Killeen, number 22, has come in. She's from Clontarf. And also 17 is in. That's Ellen Gribben from St Bridget's. So 2 half-time changes for Dublin. So I think Jodie Egan has gone off, and Una White, the 2 corner forwards. Not that they're really corner forwards these days. Let's just say they're 13 and 15. Dublin try to relieve the pressure, but that ball from Owens has been intercepted by Laura Mulcahy. So the pressure keeps coming back. Waterford, maybe with their knowledge of this ground and the conditions, their home advantage is starting to show. They were holding out in the first half, and now they know it's all about pressure. Kiva O'Connor does well to get back in there and come in on the blind side and intercepted that, and that's why Dublin are now breaking through Jennifer Dunn, and she fends off a number of challenges and plays a nice ball up to Hannah Tyrrell, and she wins it in front of her marker Dunford, and now uses that cultured left foot and gives it out to O'Connor. So O'Connor started the move by winning it, and now she has a chance to show what she can do in a forward role, and she does that well inside and outside and puts it over. That's an excellent score. O'Connor started it and finished it. Dublin's first score of the second half takes it to 2-4 to 2 points. Good long kick out by the goalkeeper Gallagher, although it actually goes a little bit too far. The wind carried it too far, but you saw what she was trying to do. This is Killeen, and Killeen comes inside to Nolan. She already got a point in the first half, but she might find it a lot more difficult in the second half against the wind. This is the 17, Gribben, who's come in from St Bridget's, and she's looking to make an impact right away, and that one goes low, and it's intercepted quite easily. And Waterford definitely have a lot more about them in the second half, and they're really up for the battle in this half. I imagine Pat Sullivan has got at them at half time and said, for goodness sake, get out there and show what you can do, and don't be afraid of the Dubs. And that's a great ball into Kiva McGrath, the 2 number 3s out there. Caffrey is trying to shepherd McGrath and keep her out there, but McGrath comes inside and gives it to Maria Wall. Now Murray darts one way, then the other, drafts, goes by another defender. This is power for Waterford, but McDaid does well to nip in there and win that, but the referee actually says that was illegal, and it's a free in for Waterford. So 1 score each at the start of the second half, but Waterford have looked a lot more promising. She missed one a few minutes ago. In fact, I think they've changed the kicker from a little bit further in. So the wind, I thought it would be easy, but you still got to get it on target. No, it is her again, Kate McGrath. Now she's definitely gone left this time, and she's put it left to the other side this time. And you always feel for a free taker in that circumstance. That's one missed on each side. So hard to judge it in this wind, which is a cross-field wind. Now lots of press here from Waterford from the kick out, and they're forcing Abby Shields to go high and wide, and Hannah Power picks it up. That's a good press from Waterford, and if they could just profit a little bit more, we might have a very interesting game here. This is their number 10 McMaul coming forward looking for room. Murray has been so busy in this game, and she's blown for over carrying. That's unfortunate. So lots of energy and endeavour in the second half as Waterford really try to step up the tempo. And they could easily have scored 3 or 4 times, but they've only scored the once. And it's Dublin on the break, and they have scored once as well through this girl, Kiva O'Connor, who carries it forward really well now and gives it to Dunn. And Dunn hits a little punt pass into the corner. And This is the substitute who came in, Killeen. Oh, and that's dangerous, and somehow it's dropped into the net. The goalkeeper has misjudged it, and that's a little bit of a disaster for the keeper. I don't know what happened there. The ball must have swerved in the wind or something. She just lost track of it altogether, and it went into the net. And you worry for Waterford now. They'd done so well at the start of the second half to try and get back into it, but that is a hammer blow to them. Two subs coming on for Waterford, 18 and 17. They're bringing off number 11, Hannah Power, and they're bringing off number 14, Chloe Fennell. So 17 and 18 are off, or on rather. In fact, I'm getting confused because the 17's come straight back off again. She's maybe come to get a gum shield or something like that. At 17 and 18 definitely on. They're the subs for Waterford, and they are Kellyanne Hogan from Ballymac at 17. And number 18 is Anya O'Neill from Kilrasanti Brickies, the same club as Kate McGrath. Number 20 has come in for Dublin as well at this opportunity. Number 20 for them is Niamh Heatherton from Clontarf. And she comes in for Aoife Kane. And I'm noticing now that Jennifer Dunn has gone to full forward, and Hannah Terrell has come out around the left half forward sort of area. So a few positional switches as well, and Kit Sullivan is in left corner forward for Dublin. That seems to be the shape at the moment. So Heatherton, I imagine, will slip into the midfield area, and McDaid seems to be playing in an advanced midfield role. This is Terrell, and it's Dublin now on the break, and Dublin trying to create something, and that's actually a free to Waterford. Referee having a word with Terrell, but it's Dunford who's going to take the free at the end of all that. Doesn't know where to go with it, but she'd better hurry up, and she does, and gives it to one of their subs. That's O'Neill. Fresh legs on for Waterford. What difference can that make? They've all looked pretty lively at the start of the second half, but they need some new energy now after conceding that unfortunate goal. This is Kate McGrath, and she's looking to redeem herself for a few frees she's missed, and she's driven through the centre of the defence and turned and twisted and done well, and in the end there's a free to the other Kay McGrath. That's Karen McGrath, and the referee taking another tick. And this is Kate McGrath, who's come out from the full forward area, and she's looking to put it in to the full forward area, looking for McGrath, the other McGrath. That's Kiva McGrath. There's three McGraths. Doesn't get there though, and that's good defending for Dublin by their corner back, Hannah Leahy. She got out in front there. Kiva McGrath playing in there as the target full forward, even though she's wearing number 3. And this is Caffrey on fullback duties for Dublin, also wearing 3. And Leahy runs into O'Neill and is penalised, so it's a free for Waterford. Take it quickly and give it to the other sub who's come in, and that is Kellyanne Hogan. They've been held up around the middle now. It's Heatherton coming in with a challenge. Murray gives it to Wall, and there's a run beyond her into the right corner. And that's Dunford all the way up there, the number 2, all the way back from corner back duties to corner forward duties, and she gets a free. So 14 minutes into the second half, and the second half is flowing, to be honest. It's been very entertaining and lively. Waterford really took the game to Dublin, but without much reward. Short free, looked a little bit too short, but the referee says play on, and that's good work in there. Is that Tyrrell all the way back there? It is, you know. Three-4 plays 2 points, so 11 in it now. There was 5 in it just before half-time until that O'Connor goal, and then a goal just a few minutes ago. They've made the difference, obviously. Free to Dublin. That's Nolan looking for Heatherton, who does well to get out in front. She read that well and just stepped in at the right time. And now O'Connor is using her speed, but she doesn't get away. She just trips at the vital moment when she looked to be getting possession. Karen McGrath, the captain of Waterford. They need her to drive forward now. She's been trying to do that all of the second half without much reward. Can they get a bit of reward now? The home crowd would love a goal here in Dungarvan. Referee lets that go on, and McGrath, another of the McGraths, is up there. There's a chance now. They try to get it over to Kiva McGrath, but she's been well watched by Leah Caffrey, who's had an excellent game for Dublin. And now she tries to get up the field to carry the fight. And Sullivan unable to pick up that pass, so Rebecca Casey from Stradbally, number 4 for Waterford. This is number 18, their sub, O'Neill. They've made a couple of changes. She gives it back to Casey, who started this move, and she is challenged in there by Ellen Gribben, but gets away. Great work by Casey, but she's having to come back. She does that. She comes back and gives it to O'Neill. Now there might be a chance here inside. No, that's going to be picked up a little bit too easily by Heatherton. And this is Heatherton now. Actually, maybe it was Dunn or McDade who was back there. I'm getting mixed up on my midfielders. This is McDade. 3 strong midfield players out there at the minute for Dublin, so they're just keeping things steady out there in the middle of the field and then giving it to the likes of the Sylvester's players. And this is Sullivan, and she gives it, and she gets it back from Owens, but it's well tackled in there, and she doesn't get any further than that. But against the wind, Dublin settling in there and having a good strong core there, as they always do, making it difficult for Waterford to break through. McGrath is doing her best, but she's just running across field. This is Cusick off the shoulder with a different angle, and she's looking to see where Kiva McGrath is, and I'm watching her off camera, but she's been so well marshalled, and there's no players inside the 45 at all. It's all been played around the middle, so even the big ball over the top won't work, and it has to be so accurate. That's the predicament that Waterford are in at the minute, but they are persisting, and this is good work by Kellyanne Hogan. And Karen McGrath now battling the Blues and eventually getting a free. Nobody in the danger area for Waterford. You think they might take a gamble now because Kiva McGrath has gone in there now, but they're running the ball. They haven't had much success at that, but they might now though, because they've got in behind here, and there is room here, and Murray is through, and she is through for a goal, and at last they do get success, and it was the running of Katie Murray, Emma Murray rather, getting my Murrays mixed up, but it was Emma Murray who got through. And they are triplets after all, and we're going to the water break, and Waterford are back in this game, and that was just reward, not just for Emma Murray because she's had a super game, but for Waterford's persistence in the second half. 48 minutes gone, and that's a great little boost there for the home team. 3-4 now to 1-2. So on the water break, the second water break, I'll just give you some updates from elsewhere. Kerry are leading Tipperary, but only by 2 points. Tipperary are back into that one. Cavan are beating Monaghan, but only by 1 point. That's a tight one. Armagh are beating Tyrone quite handily. It's 5-7 to 1-8, and Tyrone have just got a consolation goal. So Armagh scored 5 goals before that. And elsewhere, it's Laois 2-11, Clare 2-4. And I know that the Down game against Roscommon had a lot of goals in it. I think there was 6 goals in the first half, 3 for each team. So I'm just trying to find that one for you as we're on this water break now. And yeah, at halftime, or latest rather, it was Down 3-5, Roscommon 3-3. So it's been raining goals in that game. Here we've had 4 goals now, so we've had our own good helping of goals. And we're getting another substitution for Waterford, 23 for 5 and 21 for 15. I'll never remember that, so I'll have to write that down. 23 for 5 for Waterford, and that means that Lauren McGregor is coming on for Waterford, and she is the captain at the minute of NUIG in the O'Connor Cup, centre half forward. So we're playing against DCU last week on our live stream from that venue in DCU. So Lauren McGregor, a fine player, played for Waterford a few years ago, probably under Pat Sullivan. And Pat is back, and she is back, and she's come in, I think, for Aisling Milani at number 5. Now there was another one there, but I didn't quite catch it. I think I read it out, but I didn't write it down. But there'll be an announcement in a second, so I'll bring you that one too. Yeah, 23 is on. That's Lauren McGregor. She's handing her note to the linesperson, and he's saying, no, you've got to give it to the boss, the referee, Jonathan Murphy. So she does that. And 21 is on as well. She gives her note to Jonathan, and the 21 for Waterford is Maeve Daly from Ballyduff.
Lauren McGregor is coming on to number 5, Aisling Milani. Number 21, Maeve Daly, is coming on to number 15, Kate McGrath.
And it was 15, Kate McGrath, who's gone off. She worked hard today, to be fair, was unlucky with the freeze, hard to judge in the wind, but she did work as hard as she could off the ball and on the ball. Just didn't happen today. Now, Kevin McGrath for Waterford. They're coming forward after the water break. They get a goal just before it, but that kick has gone to the right and wide, and they could have done with that just to build the momentum after the water break. Lots of changes. Dublin in control, but not home and hose just yet. 13 plays 5, and Waterford do have the strong wind, and if they can get together here, and they might, you know, they've robbed that one from the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is down, and you know what, the goalkeeper is in trouble here. Abby Shields is in bother. She lost control of it. Difficult conditions with the ground, and with that ball being a little bit wayward, and the wind, she lost it and brought down her player, and I'd say that is a yellow, and she will protest. But Abby Shields has been sin-binned. She conceded a goal just before the water break, and just after it she's gone off, and this is an unexpected appearance for the number 16 for Dublin, and that is Emer Niefa from Fingallians. So she gets her chance, and she is going to come on for Abby Shields. So a change in goalkeeper, and she looks to be waiting as if she's not allowed to go on just yet. She's waiting for permission, and the note has now been passed, and here she comes now, the reserve goalkeeper. Of course, no Ciara Trant today for Dublin. Abby Shields from Lucan, named in the team of the league last year, replaced now after that sin bin. 16, Emer Niefa on for Dublin from Fingallians, and goes straight in to face this free. And they've changed their free taker, Waterford. They took off Kate McGrath. They put on Lauren McGregor. She pops it over, and it's now 3-4 to 1-3. And you just wonder if Waterford had got those few points at the start of the second half from easy frees, this would be a lot more interesting. But it certainly got a little bit interesting now, and it's even more interesting now because that goal kick has gone straight to Kevin McGrath, and she was looking to slip in the other Murray, but it was well intercepted, I think, by Martha Byrne in there, and it came to nothing. And a nervy start there for the reserve goalkeeper, and I see Martha Byrne just signalling to Leah Caffrey and saying, settle it down, settle it down. We've conceded a goal, and we've got a player down as well, but just calm down. And she wisely gives the ball to the new goalkeeper and gets her a chance to get her hands on the ball, and that'll help her a little bit more because their first kick was a wayward one. But they survived Dublin, and they're up around halfway. This is Orla Nolan working hard. Thought she was over carrying there actually, but the referee was right beside it and said there was a holding going on. This is done. This is better from Dublin. They're responding well after that little bit of pressure at the back. But Waterford have got it back, and now there's a chance for them actually to hit Dublin on the break, and there's a challenge going in which has halted the play, and the referee, I thought he was going to tick there, but he's let that go, and Dublin are getting a chance to funnel back. Murray has it. She wants to hurry things up, but is having to go short. She doesn't want to give it away either, and there's good pressure being exerted by Jess Tobin for Dublin, and it's actually going to be a free in. That's good work from Tobin. Actually, it's a hop. Tyrrell is in there, and Tyrrell gets a hand to it, but it's well read by Murray. And that's nearly intercepted, but not quite, which means that Waterford have a chance to break. They've got themselves back into this game. They have an extra player, but they've lost possession. Siobhan Killeen now in lots of room. Gives it up to Kate Sullivan. Would she take on Cusack? She does, of course. She comes inside, but is forced to go back out. And there's a little tug of the jersey spotted by the referee, Jonathan Murphy, and that's going to be a free in for Dublin. So they've survived that little burst of pressure after the water break from Waterford. Waterford certainly can't be faulted for effort in this game. They really took it to Dublin, but they just haven't been clinical, and they haven't had much luck in front of the post either. But they certainly deserve a bit more than 4 scores. The 1-3 that they have in this game could have been more interesting, because in all honesty, Dublin have been effective, but they haven't been what you would call overly impressive. But they have certainly done more than enough to win the game, and it's very, very early days in the year. That's Gallagher with the kick out. She's the goalkeeper this year for Waterford. Now, she's not actually a goalkeeper. She plays outfield for her club, but she's stepped in there and has done her best today for Waterford. Sullivan gives it out to Nolan. Dunn being shepherded there, but she bursts away from O'Neill and leaves it off to Sullivan. She tries to get on her right foot and thinks better off it, under serious pressure there. Comes out to Killeen, but that's tenacious tackling in there, and well won for Waterford over on that left corner there. Was it Fennell all the way back there? I'm going to check who that is, because she deserves a name credit for that challenge, and that means that Dublin are now having to defend, because Waterford are trying to hit them on the break, and they're held up around the middle. Dublin so good at that. See, the challenge is going in, but Wall has broken through on this occasion, and Wall is looking for a little bit of support, but she's been followed by Kiva McGrath, so she's done well to hold her up. Murray, and they have got in behind here, because it's McGregor. She's been looking lively since she came on, but not many players in the danger area, so she has to go for a score herself, and goes to the left, and it goes wide. And that name credit actually deserves a mention that I mentioned, and that is actually Breeden McMaw. Number 10 it was, who was back there doing that tackling a minute ago that got Waterford going. Now, she's wearing 10, but she's wearing playing in a very defensive role at the minute. Home crowd willing Waterford on, but every time they seem to do something or get back towards doing something, Dublin just pull away. And that's what they're doing here again. And is she going to keep that in? I think she is. Ellen Gribben, she feeds Tyrrell. Tyrrell steps inside. She's been pursued by Mulcahy, so she just holds it up and gives it to Heatherton. Oh, and she looks to put a dink over the top and gives a lovely ball in there, and there is a chance now, and it's the number 9, it's McDade in there, gives it back out to Sullivan, and that kick is blocked down, and the keeper bounces it, which isn't a wise thing to do, and she's dropped it again. Is she going to get another sin bin for goalkeepers? There's been one already, and in the end it's a free in to Dublin, and you see the difficulty there of winter football. You can't bounce the ball. 3-5 plays 1-3 down to the last 5 minutes of the game. Dublin haven't scored much in the second half. I think it's just 1 goal and 1 point. And Tyrrell looks to add to that, and she does. Next week, of course, Dublin play Cork. That's the big one in Croke Park. Now Gallagher goes short, was looking to go long, and then she realised, well, she had Rebecca Casey right beside her, so give it to her. This is O'Neill. Murray, who has worked so hard to break through the lines, but look at the tackling coming in, and the challenge is from O'Connor. Dublin so hard to get through over the way they set up around the middle, and they've a couple of players back. Well, they've Leah Caffrey back there as well, so they've an extra player at the back, making it very difficult for Waterford, but they are persisting and running the ball really well here and trying to get in behind with some success. This is McGregor, but as I say, look at the blue jerseys back there, and Waterford been forced to come back out the field and go sideways. This is Mulcahy going one way and then the other. They're going up the middle. Route one for Waterford, and Murray trying to burst through, and it's O'Connor there again. She's done a lot of very good defensive work today, and she's turned over a lot of play, and that's why Gribben is now breaking for Dublin, and she does well to get her kick in and get it up to Sullivan. McMaw now. Challenge comes in from Nolan, but Cusick breaks away from that. And this is O'Neill. This is Maria Wall, and Waterford are not done yet. Kiva McGrath slips it out to Dunford. Can they get into the goal area? Well, there's certainly a pull there from O'Connor. As said, she's done a lot of defensive work today, and I think that must be at least her second tick, though. It must be just a second, because there's no card, and we're in the last 2 minutes of the game. This is McGregor. This is a tricky enough one because the wind is going from left to right and it's quite strong, so she needs to aim this at the far post. 23 for Dublin has been warmed up, and I said she needed to aim for the far post. That is exactly the case, and point went to the right and wide. So 23 missed it, and 23 is coming on for Dublin. That's Siobhan Woods from Raheny. Been around this Dublin setup for quite a while, former DCU. And also for the last few minutes, Waterford are going to run on 3 more subs. 22, 24 and 25 for Waterford are running on for a few minutes. 22, 24 and 25. Let me see. 22 is Cora Murray from Comera Rangers, a sister of the triplets. And 24 is Sheena McGuckian from Kilrasanti Brickies, and 25 is Aoife Murray from Comera Rangers. So 2 sisters coming on. Kiva McGrath is off, and Laura Cusick is off, and the number 4 is off. That's Rebecca Casey. That all means we have 4 Murrays on the pitch, all 4 Murray sisters on the pitch for Waterford. 3 triplets, 1 set of triplets, and a younger sister as well, and their dad was doing the gate earlier on. So a family occasion for the Murrays from Comera Rangers. They are all on the field and putting everything into the Waterford effort today. 21 is Maeve Daly. She came on a few minutes ago. Is there another score in Waterford? There is. You know, that's dropped over the bar, and it's Breed McMaw, and she deserves it. She has put in a shift today for her county. We are in added time, and it's 3-6-2-1-4. Now the goalkeeper, Naefa, and she goes short to Caffrey. That's very short, though, and she just about made that. And this is good work through the hands from Dublin. Really good short passing, slick as well, but and there's 9 on 9. That's a foul on McDade. Dunn takes it, looking for Tyrrell, and gets it into Tyrrell, who takes it beautifully in her stride and speeds off. Now she'll try to get on that left foot, on her right actually. Oh, and she just misjudges that slightly and puts it wide, but that was an excellent move by Dublin at this stage in the game, all the way from the goalkeeper up to Tyrrell. Deserved the score. 62nd minute now. Gallagher for Waterford. They're 8 points down, so they're not going to win this game, but they've put in a good effort, as has O'Connor, and she speeds off now and is fouled herself. And there's a good ball in over the top, and it's not going to be allowed, though. The referee's bringing that back. I think the sin bin period is over, and Shields is back in goals at the other end. This is Siobhan Woods. This is Leahy. I don't know what she did there. That was a nice little trick, but it worked anyway. And she's still going and trying to get through. She's held up now, but she's not giving up, and she might get through in the end. Oh, if it doesn't work the first time, go back again. And she certainly did that. That was a lesson in persistence. Brilliant play by Hannah Leahy from the Scoil Econal Club. In injury time, she has scored a terrific goal at the end of the game. She just wouldn't say no. Top corner, brilliant goal. Puts the icing on the cake for Dublin. 4-6 to 1-4. And O'Connor, and she feeds Gribben, and Gribben is coming through and trying to get a score. Doesn't get it. Little bit unfortunate for Waterford to concede another goal right at the end. They conceded 6 in 2 games, both games, 6 in each game last year against Dublin. They're now up to 4. Oh, and there's a lovely dink ball over the top, and Dublin trying to create another one. It's going to be a point of anything, and it has got over actually. I think it was Siobhan Woods who got it, but a lovely little ball through there to create it. Dublin turning on a little bit of style in added time. And we're now in the 64th minute of the game. And that is it. Jonathan Murphy blows the whistle at the game, at the end of the game. An entertaining game, it has to be said. Dublin persisting and just too good in the end, too strong overall. Waterford give it a good effort on their home ground here in Dungarvan. Little bit of a mixture of bad luck at times and bad choices, and the weather affecting as well, but they certainly could have been closer if they'd taken their chances and had a little bit more luck. And when they came out at the start of the second half, they played with the wind and looked to be getting back into it, but didn't quite get there. They got a goal, and then of course there was a sin bin as well for Abby Shields, the Dublin goalkeeper, but Waterford never really quite at it where they could take advantage fully, and they missed a few chances of their own. And then they were rocked by an unfortunate goal early in the second half, well, about 10 minutes in maybe it was, and a goal right at the end sealed the victory for Dublin. So they have run out convincing winners in the end. So 4-7 to 1-4 in Dungarvan for Dublin. The league champions are back. They are back in winning ways 161 days after losing to Meath in the All-Ireland final. They have persisted here in Fraherfield in Dungarvan, and they now go forward to play Cork in the big one next week in Croke Park, while Waterford will be at home to Meath. That's it from our live stream coverage in Dungarvan. I hope you enjoyed it. For now though, bye bye.